Fast weapons are definitely the meta in Dark Souls 3. So many of the boss's movesets lend themselves to armaments capable of dealing quick damage with speedy recovery times. So if you want the easiest possible build in this game, grab a fast weapon and level dex. Anyway, look how big this fucking sword is. Hey guys, Thingfishy here, and welcome to episode 4 of grabbing a big bonky stick and bullying Dark Souls 3 for a quick blast through with one of my favourite weapons in the game. The sword that thinks it's a Greathammer, the Fume. So kill the lizard in the starting area, grab the shard on the chest, and head in to parry Gundyr. Into Firelink for the Prism Stone, Dagger, and large leather shield. Up top to do the tree jump, then trade the stone and the shield with the crow for 2 twinklies. Grab the Estus shard, then through the wall for the serpent ring. Through the high wall as usual, grabbing the gold pine resin and titanite shard by the tower on the wall bonfire. We need as many early souls as possible, so sorry Flag Lady. Run through the settlement, grabbing the Estus shard and gold pine resin in the next room. Now I'm also grabbing titanite shards here, but I'd actually recommend not bothering, but more on that later. Undead bone shard, mortician's ashes in the graveyard, then through to the cliff underside bonfire. Say hi to Onion Man, then head through the Road of Sacrifices, Crucifixion Woods, and all the way to Farron Keep, unlocking all of the gates. As always, check out my beginner guide if you're not sure of the route here. Then head up to the Old Wolf of Farron for a twinkly and the ashes. And then, optionally, you can head up onto the back of the bridge for the 2 large tighties from the 2 little lizards, and the heavy gem from the other lizard nearby. Now for Bridge Demon, because my god are we going to need Havel's ring. Now through to Farron Keep perimeter. I'm not killing the big lizard here, but keep him in mind for later. I'm here for the Farron Coal. For the final part of our Abyss Watchers setup, head back from the Road of Sacrifices, up the lift to Onion Knight, then run past the demon and head onto the rooftops for Flynn's ring and into the tower for the Chloranthy ring. So Abyss Watchers. As you can see, I'm using the starting axe, which I've leveled up to +4 and infused with the heavy gem. However, what I'd actually recommend is bonking tree balls with the axe, then grabbing Vort's hammer. Killing the 2 giant lizards we've come across so far would enable you to have it at +2 at this point. If you decide to go the lazy route like me, you can get naked and use Flynn's ring to squeeze some extra damage from the starting axe. Now into the catacombs and all the way through to the bridge. Break it and head down towards the smouldering lake. Watch the arrows so you don't get memed. Cheese the worm, then head into the demon ruins. A few controllers later, you'll find this area with the branches. Go left by the stairs to find the Fume Invader. Now I had a silly idea here that actually I've never tried before, so I aggroed him and led him up to the nearby Black Knight. And it turns out this does work. The Black Knight wiped the floor with the invader, then de-aggroed, meaning I could sneak up and grab the bonk sword. Back before Elden Ring, I used to do this route, and if the Black Knight dropped the Greatsword, it was a Black Knight Greatsword run, and if not, a Fume run. The Fume Ultra Greatsword deals pure strike damage. Because of this, it's the perfect weapon to take up the ladder, bully all of the skeletons, and have a look at one of the best views in DS3. Kill tree balls if you haven't, then grab Havel's ring. For all of your spare souls on this run, you're going to buy resins, because despite this being a twinkly weapon, it is buffable. Now the nice thing about this Fume Black Knight route is it doesn't break progression at all. If you want to do a bog standard playthrough, you're all set up at this point and can continue on with the main game. As that sounded a little bit too sensible though, I decided it would be fun to do both of the DLCs early. So I chucked some dark resin on the bonk and bullied Dancer. Then through Lothric Castle to grab all the twinklies needed for +4. For another 2 twinklies and to unlock the route to Ashes, I then went back to annihilate Crystal Sage. On your way out of the arena, drop down to the left for 2 more little lizards. Then when you get to the cathedral, Esther Shard outside, then into the river and round to the right for 2 more little lizards. Then a quick dash into the cathedral for the Lloyd Sword Ring. For an early +5, into Osiris for bonking. The Fumes R1 is amazing for smacking any large boss straight in the face, whether locked on or not. Now if you're going for a parry fight for Gundyr, you need to remember to 2-hand the weapon after the parry, before each riposte, as we don't have the requirements for it yet. As you would expect, because of this, it was quite a long fight. The Hornet Ring is going to be super useful for Frida, so grab it, then the Coiled Sword from the shrine. Then back to the real shrine and up to the top for the tree jump again to trade the fragment with Snuggly for a slab. With a maxed out Fume and the Hornet Ring, it's time for Frida. This is one of the best weapons in the game for this fight, with the charged R2 flattening her and the Hornet Ring combined with her weakness to strike, giving you some massive ripostes. An endgame build with this thing will give you one of the best Frida setups if you struggle with her generally. Whack any resin on for phase 2 and get stuck in. Like last run's Pyromancy build, but for very different reasons, the key to phase 3 is making sure you don't run out of stamina when you're right next to her, so try and get in and out as quickly as possible. Now into the Ringed City. Grab the Ring of Favour from the branch by the second angel. Then head in to Demons. The damage we have is certainly enough to go for the more aggressive red demon at the start strat, but I'd actually recommend going for the safer orange one first because of our stamina. Swinging the Fume a couple of times is more than enough to empty your stamina bar, which is really bad news if they're both on you. Once again, this weapon's ability to hit the head on every attack is super useful here. When you get to the Ringed City Streets bonfire, back past the staircase, then up the ladder and round to the right, dropping down the cliffs to grab Havel's Ring +3 for as much equip load as possible. A quick word on equip load, as I haven't mentioned it yet. In DS3, equip load is not governed by our endurance, but instead another stat called Vitality, which is your health in Dark Souls 1, Bloodborne and Lies of P, the same as Vigour is in Elden Ring and Dark Souls 2 and 3. But Vigour is stamina in Lies of P, and equip load in Dark Souls 3 is Vitality. Thank fuck the games themselves aren't that difficult. So if you are more of an armour enjoyer than me, which isn't difficult, you could split your levels between endurance and vitality and have some decent armour. Because I'm all in on stamina though, and see that as the biggest issue with this build, I grabbed the Chloranthy Ring +3 from the statue before heading down to the big guy. And although this is much earlier than usual, our damage output means this just feels like any other in-game Medea build. Lightning Resin is the perfect choice here. Now for the earliest Gale you've seen from me so far. And just like Medea, with these sort of numbers you really wouldn't know it's that early. Stamina again is the only issue with this fight, so the Grass Crest shield wouldn't be a bad shout, if you have the adaptability to use it without fat rolling. Back to the main game then, and it's gonna be a massacre. Fume is an absolute dream for Storm Rulerless Yorm. Getting headshots is super easy, and you'll be done in just 4 riposts. If you did decide to go the heavy armour route, you'd have to start playing much more passively and manage your stamina a lot more for the late base game. As I was approaching max stamina though, I could still be as aggressive as I liked, even with this colossal sword. For princes, the Fume is great for hitting Lothric after rolling behind, and has the added bonus of those big bonk animations, making you duck a lot of the swipes from Lorien. For Nameless King, it's worth backing off the aggression just a tad and waiting till the end of combos to get your attacks in, as some of his quicker startups will catch you here if you're not careful. And we end with the hardest boss in the game to fight with a big weapon. For Soul of Cinder, take your time, choose your moments carefully, and pray you don't get the Curve Sword moveset, which obviously if you're me, you'll get immediately. And that's it. A quick run, once again bonking everything with the Fume Ultra Greatsword. If there's a DS3 guide you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel for more FromSoft and Souls-like adventures. As always, thanks for watching. See you soon.